holding the perspective of the universe, um, holding the perspective of source. There's some people who are in that category, and I understand where they're coming from if they say so. Um, People are really triggered by this because people want to hear. Um, Hold up, let's do something here. Ah, you're gonna make me love somebody. You're gonna make me somebody else. If you keep on treating me the way you do, you're gonna make me love somebody else. You're gonna make me love somebody. Oh wow. You hear that? You hear the horns? Like a trailer horn or a truck horn. It makes me feel like I'm being hurried to do my life. Like I'm being hurried to do this life. It's so painful when I hear that. It's less painful today. So last night I for let me finish what I was saying about the perspective. I've been holding the perspective of source. A couple of teachers said that about themselves, and I totally understand how that might be a thing. It's not that might be a thing. It's a thing. Told that we're all channeling the universe in some capacity. We're first channeling our soul. I use the word channel because it explains it puts a perspective on it, a more somewhat practical perspective on it. Um, um, you're channeling your soul, and your soul is connected to the universe. Now, why are some people having the perspective of source, as in the intention of understand the intention of source, and to a very big degree, because these people, um, I could say something, but it's going to come off quite arrogant. But you see, I was born like one of these people who is where these really old souls. What am I doing? I forgot this camera is on. Where these really old souls, and we we incarnated with the intention to um, with the intention to present reality in its highest form, as in, we are here from different parts of the universe. Some of us are, um, let's say, primarily earth souls. I don't know how that would work, because I believe this is what I believe we different souls are incarnating at different in different star systems all the time. Really, this is what I believe. And so I don't know what a earth soul is, or what a, I really have to, when my vibration goes up, and then I'm more saturated and more settled, should I say, in my higher self perspective, which I'm getting closer to it now, um, because of what happened last night and because of this work that I've been doing on myself. I'm going to pray and hope that the moves that I'm making within the next weeks, I'm planning on going back to the USA. I'm not sure what state I'm going in, but I'm planning on going back. I'm hoping the work that I did so far and the work that I'm going to do in the next couple of weeks will be enough to get me in a state where I could trust that I'm going to be attracting um, attracting more success in this career. What has been happening is the universe and Earth is in a certain stage of its evolution where it's moving towards and closer towards a kind of, oh my god, this is dangerous, closer towards its transition into another dimension. And the universe, of course, is always expanding, so the universe is upgrading too. When one thing is happening on one level, it's happening on all levels. um, and at the same time, simultaneously, because something is getting better or higher, things are also getting lower, because as certain energies and perspectives move forward, it transition. And if you're not ready, or if a certain different life forms are not ready to move with it, there's going to be this separation and this what's that word I'm looking for, like a I don't know, like this separation, let's put it that way, of um purpose and intention. It's like, if you're not ready with the transition, if you're not ready with the earth, it's going to move into another cycle, another evolutionary cycle. And your body and your mind has to be ready. Your vibration has to be ready. You have to be vibrating closer to the frequency of the earth and where it's going to move with it. So I think I was just saying that to say that what is going on with me is, um, it's like I feel it could be just fears and trauma that I'm being set back because of not being able to bring out my higher self through my words and through my content and in front of people in general. So I don't know for sure um, that the work that I'm doing here now and what I've done so far is not enough. I would have to really make a leap and go and do something else. As in, when I move to, let's say this time when I go back to the US, um, I make different moves. I start to speak the way I speak to people. I've not been doing that because all that trauma that I was carrying, all that trauma I was carrying was um, causing me to hide that side of myself. And the way I'm speaking right now is closer related to it. It's not it's not fully it yet, but it's getting there. So with allowing and with more work and with more effort and with more action taken in the right place and more allowing and allowing and allowing, I could get there. And I could get there soon as long as I keep up with it. But all the fears and traumas I had of my family seeing this side of me was causing me to not want it and not want it enough to. But I was too fragmented anyway. So every time I go into front of the camera, or every time I Every time I go to a kind of where I go around people and I go around, especially my family, but people in general, I would dissociate and become a version of myself that I believe is more acceptable and believe will not get rejected. I think and would not get rejected because it's too weird or it's because it's too intelligent or it's too big. Those things, those part of it is that's where the trauma. That was the original trauma. So this dissociation process would happen with me, and and I could not, and to this day I still cannot fully do it. Last night I did so much work on myself the past weeks, and saying last night was going to be my night already. My siblings like, oh, they don't want to hear anything. Oh God, something just hit me. A negative thought just came to me, and I don't know how to not have these negative thoughts at this point. Um, um, so I called them for a meeting, and I had to manipulate them. I had to trick them into thinking that I just wanted to talk to them because they said they were not going to come to listen to anything else I had to say. So I attempted to tell them about my brother's shenanigans and his sociopathic ways from my expert point of view, from my higher self point of view. Epic fail. Epic fail. Did not work again this time. Mostly because I was too much of a coward to to go into a certain voice, this tone. It's closer to this tone. I'm still afraid of them seeing me that way. Um, to this, even right now, I'm way less afraid than I used to be, but still afraid. And I could have gotten a flight next week, but I decided I'm going to put it off to 3 or 4 weeks from now. I might push it to 4 weeks, just so I have some time to go back to the drawing board, see what else I could do, and try to put some icing on the cake approach to doing this thing, right? Um, Last night I attempted, and I wanted to get down to the place where I get to tell them that listen, my brother killed my mother. Don't know if I ever said it in a live video. Um, did not get to do that at all. One of my sisters, she just went crazy. They both went crazy, but this one over here, yeah, over here, because it's the house I live in. The house that I'm staying in, that's the one, that's the house she's staying in. She proceeded to pretty much just, you know, be a pig the whole time. And when that starts to happen, that's the opposite of what I need to be able to bring out the side of myself that I need to bring out. That's that I do not need that at all. I cannot function when they go into that state, because when that's happening, it makes me see it brings back up the same very trauma that I'm trying to heal. And when that starts to happen, I'm in too much anxiety and too much panic to access my higher self. It's like it's a dissociation process itself. It's like this is my higher self coming through, and I should be here. But when they start, the anxiety starts, and then I shift, and then this is my soul, higher self, with all the information and the tone, and the tonality, and the wisdom, the information, all what I need to the actual me, all that I need to speak the truth that I need to speak. So I'm over here and I become something else, something that they're used to, something close to what they're used to, because that person is somewhere in between what they're used to and what I'm trying to be, but far out of what I'm trying to be and closer to what they're used to. So yeah, I started to talk. My voice started to break up. My voice started to break up. I started to, I got this chopping in my voice, and so they get impatient, which I can't really totally blame them for that. I mean, I can because to me, if you love and care about somebody, you kind of want to work with them so they could do what they believe even if it doesn't make sense to you, what they need to do to get to where they need to do. If you have no tolerance for them and what they're about and what they want, it's because you have no tolerance for them. It's because you don't want to tolerate them. You don't, what they are and what they represent is so threatening to you that you cannot find love for them in those moments. So to me, that's not love, you know? And these people say, I love you and I love you, you're my sister, I love you. And to me, when people tell me I'm your sister or you're my this to I love you, is fake. Because if that's why you love me, you don't love me. We don't love people because they're related to us. We love people because how they make us feel. So the reason why you love me is because I'm your daughter, I'm your sister. You don't really love me. You're just telling yourself that you love me because it's right. It's right to love me because if you don't love me, then it makes you a bad guy. And so to me, that's not love. And so last night was an epic fail, but it wasn't totally epic fail because I just decided I'm gonna blurt it out and say, listen, your brother killed your mother. Of course, they ridiculed the whole thing. They weren't really laughing. They were just, they just went in a tirade, telling me the same shit over and over. Because according to them, I'm telling them the same shit over and over. It's just that they don't understand that because of the anxiety and trauma that I have to endure. I have to structure my mind a certain way. So when I start talking, it will sound like you've heard it all before, because I'm going to be going back into some things that I had to say in other moments when I had to structure my thoughts a certain way. So if I'm structuring a certain way, it's going to be structured and it's going to be like the other structures. Because when you're dealing with structures, it's almost like like buildings in that kind of a sense of a structure. They all are tall buildings who are stacked a certain way, but they're all different. Inside of them, they're all different. They have something different to offer, but they're all the same in some sense. So they don't understand that I have to structure my mind to make life work for me. And so I think what I was trying to say, it wasn't totally an epic fail because I just decided I'm just going to blurt it out. I'm just going to say it. I'm just going to say, listen, he killed our mother. Now, of course, I got blamed for my mother's death because of I had to pretty much run away when I had to take her to Jamaica, um, to kind of save her life. I don't think I don't think she would have lived long out here anyway. But what happened was, for a year and a half, my brother has been doing things to her to decline her mind with witchcraft, to decline her mind and decline her body. So that way he could get her to be stuck there and sick. And when he gets her to be stuck there and sick, he gets me to be stuck there taking care of her. So I don't leave him, so he don't get, he's like he need his mother and your sister and your whoever whatever woman plays the role of your mother. It's like it's almost like when mothers replace their husbands with their sons. It's a thing in psychology, but I can't get to explain myself like that to them. Or at least like that. Like there's so many different higher ways I could explain the same thing to make it make sense. I can't do any of that with them. So I couldn't get to explain because if I got to explain it in a certain tone and in a certain manner and in a certain level of with wisdom and the energy and the conviction that I wanted to put behind it, maybe they would have opened their mind to maybe that there's some merit to things that I'm saying here, but they're not open to it at all. And when that's the case, I mean, they were never open to it. When I just got here, um, there was plenty of opportunities for me to try to do it, but I couldn't find it. I couldn't find those parts of myself. It's like a really unfair thing that happens with me. It's really unfair because here I am. I'm here now visiting them. Plenty of days, plenty of weeks come by when they're all here sometimes, and I have those opportunities to do it. Now the time has passed by. I can't do it with them because I took too long to find it. I still haven't found it fully. So now, and I got the sign this morning. Somebody ran past saying the words, "Oh, you take too long." This is how the universe sends you signs. And it could be just signs because of my fear and me attracting those signs because that's what I fear. And that is what I fear. And I fear being too late and I fear never making it and all these things. So all these things cause me to like not should I say to be manifesting um let me write a comment here on somebody's page. To be manifesting these so-called warnings. Some of them are some of them are maybe warning from my higher self, and some of them could just be warning because I'm attracting those things because of my fear. Either way, they hurt. Either way, seeing that your life is running out, that you might attract your own death. Because when you're not living through your higher self, you attract your own death. You will. You have to. I'm not sure what form that would take. It could take any form. And because I know this guy is a killer, um, what I don't want is for them to let him know when I'm coming back in the country. Because somebody who will kill their own mother will will drive all the way to the airport to track me down. They don't understand that he's a killer and he wants me because when you're dealing with a sociopathic person or a narcissistic person or any narcissistic person who wants you to control you and to keep you around, to hurt you, to abuse you, when they cannot get to do that, when if they don't get to do that, they want to kill you, they want to end you, they want to destroy you, because now they feel destroyed because of the loss. And like I taught, I think I teach, I say it all the time here, that the way people make you feel is how they're feeling, because like attract like, and intention attract like intention. So even though it's something that's we're doing, it's involving with human action and human taking action to doing something, still related to it's still related to um it's still related to like attracting like attracting like seems so like this thing that is independent of consciousness. That's something that doesn't is not operating with consciousness. It's just operating with it's just a dead thing that is inanimate, even though it's not inanimate. But I'm just saying this to say, when it comes to the human body and the human intention and the human consciousness, these rules and these laws of the universe still apply. It's like magnet attract a magnet. Your mind attract what it's focused on. Also, your intention attract other intention and other things that aren't intention that is related to it. And also your feelings attract intention and non-intention and other things that are related to it, and feelings that are just like it, because like attract like. So the feeling is going to attract feeling first in that certain sense, and then it's going to attract, should I say, attract thoughts first, or I don't know, and feelings, and then emotions, energy, people, places, things that are in the same kind of frequency. And so how it plays out in your personality is that you feel what you feel is what you're going to give. So because like attract like, if you feel powerless, you're going to do something to somebody to make them feel powerless. And also people are going to continue to make you feel powerless. So when you do things to make them feel powerless, they're going to do something to make you feel powerless too. And even though even if they become more powerless than you, as in a weaker state, they are still going to be making you feel powerless because um, let me see if I could explain that. That weaker state is going to cause them to either say something, they're going to say and or do something that, even if it doesn't make you feel become as powerless as they are, you're still going to feel powerless to some degree. It's just that you're not as powerless as them. You don't become as weak, but still weak. It's like this is a weakness, this is a weakness, this is weaker than this weakness, still a weakness. um so you will I digress. To tell you the truth, I don't remember what the points I was trying to make. I don't remember. I think this is how my life will have to be until I until I could truly until I could truly um, be able to be in a place where I could just recollect what I was just talking about, and I'm not worried about it because I'm becoming better. The thing about my situation here now is about what I did was just saying about people making you feel a certain. There's another piece I want to add to it. Um, like attract likes, it enters your consciousness, and it becomes something you're not conscious of, but something you're doing, and it becomes a doing thing. And so it seems so separate and independent of like attract like, because it's just a concept, and you don't understand how that concept could play into your personality. But this is how it does, you know. This is how it does because it's. I probably just said it. I said it. I probably said it. I'm probably repeating myself, but I know in my mind I was trying to not repeat myself, and I had another piece to add that felt like it wasn't repeating myself, but turns out it is because maybe I lost my train of thought. Um. So. Um. So like attract like, you you make people feel the way. Um. You make people feel the way you're feeling. Yeah, I think I'm remembering now. You feeling the way. Um. You making them feel the way you feel. It enters your consciousness. That concept, that energy, that law, the law of attraction, enters your consciousness and plays out in your mind like that as actions. Does that make sense? This stuff is not easy to put into words sometimes. It's really not. It's really not. Um, so I was just saying that this is how, this is why this brother would probably try to find me to hurt me. Again, somebody who would kill their own mother would do that. So I'm just gonna put that out there right now on in this video. But I'm sorry. I would love to say that I know for a fact that he killed her, and I kind of do, but I'm not gonna put it into those words. He killed her, and I think I was trying to say that I took blame for it because I ran away from taking her to Jamaica when she needed to come while she was somewhat sick. Back then, she wasn't super sick yet, but after leaving her with him, he did what he needed to do to finish her off, and he did that because he thought that the reason why I ran away was because I didn't want to come to Jamaica to take care of her, which is stupid because I'm not running away from her. I'm running away from him, and I wasn't running away from either one of them this time around. I was doing something that I was led to do by my spirit, and also to see about my health. Um, so you know, so I carry a certain amount of guilt. They said that I'm suffering from guilt, so it's really me that caused her death. And um, because of that guilt, I'm trying to blame my brother about it, but no. Um, I left her with him. He wasn't working at the time, so she was not alone in the house as an old person. And so I knew he was doing things to her, but because he was also doing things to me and my health was declining, I had to go see about my health because really my mother is she really don't care much about herself much. Um, she she don't really care. She didn't really care much about me, believe it or not. She was very emotionally abusive to me too. Um, so because he's attached to me and he wanted me to stay stuck there, taking care of my mother, I had a reason to stay to take care of her. Um, to take care of her, he was trying to he was hurting her to make it seem like she had Alzheimer's and and like weakness in her body, which she was sickly and she'd been sick, but she was not weak. When I came back there to live a year ago, a year and a half ago, maybe more than so, it was April of 2020 when COVID was just starting. She was okay. She had her the cancer issue, and she had the diabetes and everything she had, but she was fine. She was okay. So now because he needed me stuck there because he's somebody who wants deeply to hold me back in life. That's one thing, and also to to do the things in the house he didn't want to do. It's like his baby mother there, but he wanted somebody to cook Jamaican stuff for him. Um, I mean, it's a long ass story. I started a lecture, not a lecture, but I started a video on it, and I'm gonna complete the video, but that video is gonna be a more detailed thing, and I'm more than likely gonna put it on YouTube because it needs to be, because if they're not listening to me, I'm gonna have to put it out there in the world. And so he killed her with this witchcraft stuff. Even that's unbelievable, and I understand why it's unbelievable. So do I carry a guilt? To an extent, because I left her with him, and but I didn't know he would go to that length. I had to go see about my own health. I was freaking dying, and I'm still sick to this day. And I had to go to do this a couple presentations to promote my book and to do the work that I do on racism in Orlando, Florida. But I could not. Um, so I didn't take her there. So the fact that I was supposed to take her to Jamaica, and maybe she would have not died, and he did that to her. I do carry a guilt for it. I'm sorry. So any guilt that I'm feeling, that's what it is. You know, my mother and my our relationship wasn't in the end was not great. She'd been emotionally abusive and very, very wicked to me in certain ways, in compared to him. To try to, because I'm the scapegoat of their situation, and he's her somewhat golden child. And even though those things were a reality, the fact that I look at the pictures of her on the program and I saw the person who raised me and the person who that I loved at one point and that I still have love for, and then at the funeral, I just couldn't hold it together. I'm like, it's not just based on the fact that she's gone; it's the fact that how she died, a very wicked way, died alone and lived such a miserable life, and then just die alone. That part of it kills me, and I do feel a guilt about it. I do. I don't know if I should not feel a guilt. People feel as though if you feel a guilt, then you're guilty. It's not. It's not guilt as in guilty. It's guilt as in if I had the opportunity or the freedom or the leverage to do things differently, she probably would have still been alive. I don't know if that makes sense to anybody. I don't know. I think it's normal to feel a certain guilt if you had to make some decisions that came with huge consequences that affected other people's lives and caused other people's death. Not caused, but led to it. I don't know. That's just how I feel. I just feel, you know, and the fact that people hold that against me cause it's like you're being gaslit to feel even more guilty because they're holding it against you. They see you they see you as that person that they believe caused it. And because everybody turned against you, you feel so self-conscious and feeling so rejected. It caused you to feel like like you did something wrong even though you didn't do something wrong. So I started off this video saying that the universe is when the universe gets to a certain point, you have to move with the universe. You have to take certain actions. And now I'm worried that yesterday was like one of the last days, and I get signs saying the last day, last chance to take action. If you don't move with taking action in a certain timing, a new cycle begins that creates a kind of a possibility or a liability causes things to be liable to happen that are even worse than what was going on before. So I'm worried now that because I still wasn't able to bring out a certain side of myself to them, then what actions do I take now? Do I stay here and try to bring it out even more? And or should I not buy a flight and see what happens? I don't like that feeling. I don't like that feeling. But what I do know that I need to do is to find people that I can't find it easier to talk to about what I am and who I am and what I do. If this is just this is just cause is I did it with a sister of mine already, and I did a presentation with her, and it was I did fairly okay. I did pretty okay. So it's like I'm afraid if I go back to America, something I'm going to attract my own death, and or I'm going to be in a situation where I'm going to get in trouble with something. And there's a couple of things I could get in trouble with, and this is why it seems as though I'm going to have to go there and try to mitigate certain things, kind of tweak certain things to make certain things work. What I do know is that I don't want to stay here. I'm miserable here. I'm still miserable. I'm completely miserable here. Should I buy a flight and do what I can do in a certain timing? Except when I know that there's a certain time frame, like a deadline for me to jump onto, it makes it harder. Or am I good enough now to just go and tweak and, like I said, do certain different things to see what happens? It's like I'm in a rock and a hard place, and this rock is really hard, and this hard place is really hard. the idea of my family, bringing that side of myself out in front of my family still feels impossible. So, I mean, for years now, the universe is trying to get me to do it with non-family, but I couldn't do it then because I was too traumatized, and these people would give me the same energy. I would feel the same energy I would feel around them, and so now I'm in a state of indecision, like I always am. If I stay out here, how safe I am? How safe am I? A couple of things could happen. In this neighborhood, there's people who don't like me. These people are quite sociopathic. Um, I could deal with persecution because there are some lies that's starting to grow about me. If I go back to America, I'm going to be forced to go to a homeless shelter first. If something doesn't work out in the next couple of weeks I have here, if I if I don't buy a flight, that's the next thing. If I do not buy a flight, I'm going to be here just hoping. I'm going to be here miserable. That's number one, and just hoping that I could um, that do I could do something. I could actually bring out this side of myself by these new things that I have on my drawing board to do, and hope it works and hope it sticks. I think I'm just gonna have to do a fuck it thing. I'm gonna say fuck it. If they hear me talking like this, and they come around me talking like this, I'm just, it's also the accent. I have an American accent for the most part right now. Right? I think it's a mixture of American and Jamaican. This that I'm talking in right now. So it's like I'm embarrassed. It's almost like a fragmentation thing that happened to me. It's like this accent goes with the knowledge aspect of me, and it's a fragment, and it's something that I've employed because maybe I believe it makes me sound more eloquent. It makes me sound like if I have to tell American people things about themselves and about racism, I don't have to run up into situations where they don't want to, oh, I don't want to hear some non-American telling me about my country. That's one part of it. And also, maybe it's just something I like. I'm pretty sure it's just something I like because it makes me sound. The Jamaican accent is birthed out of a lot of pain. It's like I write down the issues behind it, but now I can't remember, which make me feel as though I'm more fragmented now. Because when you're more fragmented from whatever, it's like whatever in the moment, it's like you're fragmented. Certain fragment of you is holding certain memories, and other fragments is holding certain other memories. And to really remember all of them, you have to really become more integrated. So this is holding this memory, the integration bring them together, and so now you're more one to remember all of them. And so now, that's my sister's voice. Um, Now I'm thinking if I get to America and I get on a loudspeaker with a permit, it's one of my plans, one of the option plans that I have to do this. Will the idea that I still feared my family seeing me in this way would cause, with the energy of them and not wanting them to see me, cause me to not get success, because that could subconsciously cause to hold yourself back. It's almost like self sabotage, what they're calling. So it's like there's a part of you who that wants one thing, and then there's another part that doesn't want it because of fear. Like this part of me over here does not want them to see me speaking and being this big with this accent and everything, and that could cause your energy, could be a blockage from success. It's like the success is over here, but because you don't want this, you don't want them to see you, it could cause that could be something like you have to really want something fully to really get the success. And I'm afraid that that might be a thing. The fact that they don't want it, it pushes me away from them. But then I still get signs of people telling me that you have to find people who want what you're offering. That is true. But if I am so afraid of the people who are my family seeing me a certain way, then where's the success going to be? You know what? I think use the power of allowing, if I use the power of allowing and the power of letting go, if they see me or not, they might see me and just know that there's a part of me that sinks away and pulls away from my center self that holds so much information, and if I'm allowing of it pulling away, then it will come back, because allowing causes things to come back. And if that's the case, then I'll be able to maybe go on a loudspeaker and make my speeches, and let go of them seeing it. If they see it or not, whatever. Just decide to deal with the consequences, decide to get in trouble, and just know that you're not going to get in trouble because you're an adult woman. This is me talking to me. You're an adult woman, and if they see it, they see it. I mean, think about any other person who had a big thing to fulfill. You know, they they wanted it, and they were ready for to be persecuted, and they were ready to be judged. And because they were so ready, it caused them to get attracted to success. Am I too late? Am I to a point now where if I starting now, I'm not starting now, but getting success now it's too late for success now? I don't know. I think it's worth a try. I think I should buy that ticket. I don't want to stay here. It's like I'm getting signs that I should I should wait. I got that sign last night. As soon as I got done talking to them, and I felt terrible about how not successful it went. Um, I went on like in my Instagram, and first thing I saw was wait. This is how the universe communicates with you. But then I keep seeing signs um, of like a plane, and I saw something that's saying flight. Or yesterday I saw something said coming to Orlando, like someone like they're calling me there. Um, I also, I keep seeing the word go, you know. I don't know. I think I should give it a chance. And just trust that in the next 3, 4 weeks, with doing more of what I'm doing, trusting it, allowing it, putting in the work, praying, meditating, it will come. It's now 3 o'clock. I got other stuff to do. I think I'm gonna close this live right now.